Bryant. Max, you're up first. Would a fifth NBA title give LeBron GOAT status? I'm talking MJ, Michael Jordan, his airness GOAT status.
No. LeBron's already got the career argument. It's either him or Kareem. And I think for in the pros, in the NBA, considering how LeBron's still playing at his age, it's LeBron. Peak is Jordan. And I don't see where LeBron's going to elevate his peak over Jordan's. When we talk about greatest, guys, I don't think we just mean add up all the win shares by the end of the career and who's worth more wins, right? I don't think that's what we're talking about mainly. Nor do I think it's just a guy who had one season. Oh, my God, he was all-world. He was as good as anyone I've ever seen, Bill Walton or something. I don't think that's what we're talking about. We're talking about a guy who's prime, who concentrated the highest level of performance over a significant number of years. When they were at their best, and how long did their best last? That's the best basketball ever played, right? So in baseball, if you said who's the greatest pitcher ever, you have a very good argument for Sandy Koufax. He only had 4 prime years, but one after another. No one ever did it like that. I think that's really what we're talking about when we say the best who ever did it in sports. And Michael Jordan's prime, guys, the first time Jordan played with another All-Star was Scottie Pippen. He took the Pistons 7 games. Pippen had a migraine in Game 7, scored 2 points in 40 minutes, so they lost. He never didn't win the finals again in under 7 games. Understand? Every time you gave, here, Jordan, here's an All-Star, he won the finals in under 7 games and put up numbers the likes we've never seen, right? And was an all-world defender. He's the greatest of all time. I don't think LeBron can catch him.
Well, Max, you just moving the goalposts for your narrative again. You can't just come up with that logic and say this is why he's the greatest of all time. Maybe LeBron James is still going. He's still at his best. Even at the age of 36, he's still at his best. And here's the problem that I have. When we talk about the game of basketball, last time I checked, the game of basketball was a team sport. This is not boxing. This is not golf. This is not tennis, where rings and championships define your legacy. Yeah, it helps your legacy, but it don't define your greatness. How about the individual accolades? Because you could be on a team that just don't have the pieces, and you could be doing more than your part, which LeBron James has been doing his entire career. And I didn't even want to get into this GOAT debate because I already know you two old haters. I know how y'all act. Oh, no, it's nothing that he could do, not a damn thing. I'm just waiting for you, Stephen. I can't even see you today because I don't even have my monitor on. Matter of fact, I don't even want to see your face right now. But at the end of the day, I said this again. I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again. LeBron James and Michael Jordan are sitting at the same dinner table. Some people like to drink Ciroc. Others like to drink Hennessy. I'm a Hennessy type guy.
I'm a Hennessy dude. That's fair enough. And listen, stop lying because you always love to see my face. Just stop lying. Stop lying, big boy. Stop lying. That's number one. Number two, you are absolutely right. There's nothing that's going to change my mind. To me, Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time, but him and LeBron James sitting at the same table. LeBron James is on the Mount Rushmore of basketball, one of the top 4 players in the history of basketball. There is no question about that. And listen, God forbid I don't say that LeBron is number 1. I mean, what's the greatest insult in the planet? Because some of the folks in this camp, that's how they treat it. Him number 2 instead of number 1. What blasphemy are you spewing? But I think it's something to be said about the road that you traveled to get there. I think that the things that LeBron had to endure before he ultimately got to that point psychologically, mentally, emotionally, I think there's something to be said for that. I'm thinking about the scoring championships of Michael Jordan, the NBA championships of Michael Jordan, the killer instinct that was Michael Jordan. All of those things come into consideration for me. And so when I look at LeBron, it's no disrespect whatsoever. I think he's the greatest in the game today. I think he's the greatest in the history of basketball outside of Michael Jordan. But if I had to take LeBron at his best, and I don't hold him all those championship losses against him, even though he lost 6. I don't blame him for losing to the Spurs in 2007.
Not
I
all
don't
of
blame
them,
him
some
for
of them.
losing for the Spurs in 2014. I don't blame him for losing to KD and Golden State. I understand what he was working against. But in the end, all I'm saying is when I take LeBron at his best, and I take Michael Jordan at his best, I would want Michael Jordan every day and twice on Sunday. Over LeBron James. And that is the only person that I would want over LeBron James in the history of basketball. I don't find that to be insulting.
Stephen A. is right, Perk.
Braun had to go against more Hall of Famers, but carry on, you good. Go ahead, Max.
You could talk about. You could talk. You can use that argument. I could use. Hold on, Max. I can use the culture of the game today compared to what it was in the 80s and stuff like that. The roughhouse tactics, the rules, how soft it's become over the years. I can bring that up. We can have that argument another time, KP. We can do that.
You don't want to go
there. The Hall of Fame.
You do not want. You don't want to go.
I'm so sick of the competition argument.
Because I'm telling you, you don't want to bring up John Hornacek and Thunder Dan again. And LeBron facing KD and Kawhi. We ain't gonna go there. You right. You right. We ain't gonna go there. You right. I ain't gonna bring up Thunder Dan. You right.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about basketball in the 80s. I'm talking about basketball in the 80s. Don't act like you don't know. You know exactly what I'm talking about. There's a whole bunch of Kendrick Perkins with no softness, Cottonelle.
Forget about basketball in the 80s.
Side of the ball. Don't start that.
I can't.
Please.
You don't need to give Jordan extra. You don't need to give Jordan extra credit for that. Don't give Jordan any extra credit for that. I take exception to what Perk just said about he didn't go up against enough Hall of Famers. Perk, on his way to winning 72 games, after that to win the championship, the all-time record at the time of the regular season, he swept a 60-win Shaq Penny team in their primes, swept them, goodbye, and then beat a 64-win team with Gary Payton and Sean Kemp in the finals. These were 60-plus win teams. He beat the Stockton and Malone teams twice. He beat the Magic Johnson James Worthy team when he first won his first title. This idea that Jordan went against soft competition, the reason it seems that way is because a lot of those cats didn't win championships because Jordan beat them. That's why they didn't win championships, because they had to play in the Jordan era.
Max, first of all, I never said Jordan went against soft competition. I never said that. That never came out of my mouth. But what I do know is that I came in the league with LeBron James in 2003. And the league was physical. The league still had guys like Ron Artest, Jermaine O'Neal, Steven Jackson, Shaq, Gary Payton. All these guys were still in the league. The league was physical. The league was physical.
Yeah,
from 2003 to 2011. No, from 2003 to about 2012. Max, first of all, I just told you that championships should not define, it should play a major part.
Yes, they should.
But it should not define the whole, should not write the whole story. This is not an individual sport, Max. No matter how you want to say it.
It's not the only thing, but it's a big thing. And Stephen A., you're right. You can't hold all the losses in the finals against that Warriors team with KD. Who was going to beat that team? Throw those two out. The first time he made the finals with the Cavs, all credit to LeBron for making the finals. The first time they lost to the Warriors, Kevin Love and Kyrie got hurt. Credit to LeBron for taking it 6. But the first loss against Dallas and Miami and the last loss against the Spurs in Miami, those were loaded teams, no excuses. Jordan never lost a series like that.
All of that?
When Jordan was loaded, he never lost series like that.
All of that just to say you agree with me?
Lakers in points and rebounds last season. Davis was a force for the Lakers during last season's run to the championship. He came up clutch by hitting one of the biggest shots of the playoffs, a buzzer-beating three-point shot to defeat the Nuggets Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals. Stephen A., who would you rather have in the postseason? This one's tough. AD or Giannis?
AD. That's not even hard for me because Giannis has to show me he can hit perimeter shots. which he hasn't shown me in the postseason. I know AD could do that. And oh, by the way, Max, to piggyback off of KP getting on you just a few seconds ago, basically what he's reminding you of is the fact that he and I picked Miami when you picked Milwaukee, because you was raving about Chris Middleton when you picked Milwaukee, and obviously that didn't prove to be correct. Now getting back to my point here. Giannis is a man-child in the regular season. But come postseason time, I say this all the time, come the postseason, teams get back on defense. They force you to be a half court. One of the reasons why we raved, and KP, you could co-sign this, one of the reasons we raved so much about Showtime with Irvin Magic Johnson, with Worthy on one wing, Byron Scott on another, Cooper trailing, stuff like that, where we used to go off about that and we loved it so much. We didn't just marvel at the Lakers and Magic Johnson because of the fast break. We marveled at the fact that the fast break never left them, no matter what defenses tried to do. Somehow, some way, because of the greatness of Magic Johnson, you could always push the ball up the court, and you were always in a track meet. And that's what you marveled about, because that doesn't usually happen. And so as a result of that, let's transition to the modern day age with the Greek Freak in Milwaukee. You don't really have a situation with Eric Bledsoe and those boys at the time where you were able to push the ball up the floor the way that you would like to, because that's when Giannis is really lethal in the open court. It's not to say that he can't do stuff in the half court, but not to the degree of his danger, of how dangerous he is in the open court. So they get back on defense. You become a half court player. And if you don't have a perimeter shot, there's nothing you can do. What makes Anthony Davis so great, inside or out, it doesn't matter. He can play with his back to the basket. He can play facing the basket. He can drive to the hole, or he can pull up from 17, or he can pull up from 19 and beyond. It doesn't matter. The arsenal of his offensive attack is better than that of the Greek Freak. Plus, he's a rim protector and a shot blocker and a rebounder when he wants to be. Anthony Davis is the real deal, and I would take him over the Greek Freak without question.
I understand those arguments. He's more well-rounded. Stephen A., you tend to like those kind of players in the playoffs. You like, in order of preference, KD, AD, Giannis, because that's the descending order of like how well-rounded their games are. But sometimes a dude can do certain things so well that even if they're not as well-rounded, they're more valuable. I had Andre Snellings of ESPN fame, Stephen A., who's also a neural engineer, I believe. He's like, a very, very smart guy and knows the basketball analytics on my radio show, the Max Kellerman Show, 2 p.m. Eastern, by the way, on ESPN Radio and ESPN Plus. And he was saying he'd take Giannis. He'd take Giannis, and it's not a difficult choice for him. And he said because Giannis, when you look at how he makes his teammates, Giannis, like AD can compile stats, and he's great, no doubt about it, and all the reasons you said about him are correct. But Giannis can also elevate those around him because he's an exceptional passer with court vision, because of his handles given his size. No, he can't shoot it like AD, although, again, AD's a better shooter than Giannis. Is he a way better shooter than Giannis? He's a better shooter. Giannis is a step below that, but he's not. It's not like you're talking about Ben Simmons. You got to put him in the dunker spot because he can't shoot at all. If you leave him alone, he can knock down a shot. When you look at the kind of force Giannis is on a court, right now, going back to our previous argument, you guys are being heavily influenced by the fact that you just saw AD play with LeBron. If you put Giannis with LeBron, you would say, this dude, it's impossible. Like, just like the Lakers are now, they would not lose anything if you swapped out AD with Giannis. And if push came to shove, I'm taking Giannis.
That's not true, Max. First of all, to me, LeBron and Giannis both need the ball in their hands to be dominant, meaning that they can't play off the ball. Anthony Davis could play off the ball. And Max, I don't know what analytics, and I've been on your radio show, and I love coming on there and handing you L's like I'm doing today. But if you're going to sit up here and tell me that it's not night and day between Anthony Davis and Giannis, you're tripping. Anthony Davis' skill set is something that we have never seen before. The closest thing to it was maybe Kevin Garnett, and that's my brother. I played with him. When you look at Anthony Davis, it's more to his package than just being able to shoot better than Giannis. He has a better handle than Giannis. He has better post moves. He has the wiggle. And you talk about AD and you talk about Giannis and his passing, but AD could drop dimes when he's needed to. He know how to pass out of double team. He know how to drive and kick. Excuse me, in the NBA Finals and in the bubble last season, did we not see him throwing lob after lob to Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee on big-to-big passing when he was catching the ball in the pocket pass?
Who's the better passer?
AD. Don't get it twisted. Giannis just had
better passer than Giannis? I don't think so.
More than Anthony Davis. Yes. Oh my God. Giannis just learned how to find the corner pass this season. And
listen. I know we got to move on, but a couple of things. Number one, Anthony Davis, I believe, is a better passer than Giannis. He definitely is a better ball handler than Giannis. And last but not least, Max, just a little bit of advice because you've been doing radio for years, and I know you know what you're doing because you're a pro. But in terms of ratings, you might not want to have the analytics dudes on. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. The analytics dudes don't mean anything. I mean, we respect them, but that ain't going to help you in the ratings, bro.
Excellent.
That ain't going to help you in the ratings. Not the analytics.
Hold on, we've had Andre on this show.
Not the analytics. Trust me on that. Huh?
Okay.
What?
Time to transition.
Andre been on our show on First Take.
Hey, listen, I don't recall that, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not knocking them. The analytics dudes are very bright and smart, and I wish them nothing but the best. I'm just talking about ratings. Ain't going to work in the ratings. Analytics, nah. Stop that. Trust me.
Yeah, analytics works in the ratings. Sure it does.
No, it doesn't.